Oh boy. All right. Let's see what we got here this morning. Let's actually drop out of this. Let's throw that up there. Where is it? .gg. Show Twitch. I always have friggin' problems with this stupid thing. But that is why we start early, so that we can figure out those damn problems. As far as show Windows after shadow. Want this on. For some reason we can get that on. Let's say .gg. You have to give me a minute because it seems like this stupid window just doesn't want to show up this morning, even though it did in all of my testing before this. So while we're figuring that out, video capture, alert box, chat box. Let's just make a new one. That'll make it easier. Come watch Egnards make an ass out of himself. Yeah. No, we don't want that. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Why can't things just work? That would be great. Screen browser search, Windows capture. All right. Safari. Okay, I think we got it. Perfect. I think it's on top of everything. We'll have to fix that, but that is a start. Move that over here. We'll maybe move this thing over a little bit. The trials and tribulations of having no idea what you're doing are quite wonderful. Windows capture. For everybody coming here and joining me and watching me struggle, this is your daily reminder that Egnards does not know everything. He just knows some things. And one of the things that he does not know is streaming software. What he he can't seem to do right now is make this stupid thing smaller. And if he can't, we'll just move on without it. Alright, well, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to deal with it as it is. I got a couple roster reviews that I need to get done this morning that I've been promising people that I would get done for quite some time. And I figured I'd knock those out. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Discord. I know you guys can't see that. I'm going to read it out once I get in here. Once I find these people. Okay, so the first one up that I have here, oh, he's got a Reddit account too. I've been on the fence about whether to request a roster review for a little while to answer one of your wonderings on the subreddit. I like watching roster. Oh, so okay. Ultimately, a new set of eyes. Here is my .gg account, which should be pulling up now. Okay, good. Top 20 fleets has 3 Leviathans. 1 at 7 stars, 2 Profundity, neither at 7 stars, and the rest Executor. So my Executor is 5 stars, but my Pilot Relics let me win some 7-star mirrors. So it seems like it's a fairly new shard. Salt Battles, CT1 5 of 7, CT2 3 of 7, CT3 0 of 7. So nothing at CT3, which is interesting, especially with a CT1 of that much. Top priority is SLKR. I will take a short break from signal data to get Karth and Ebonhawk to wherever it is when Karth is done below SLKR. My planned relic order is full R5 on CLS, and then finishing teams including troopers for CT3s, Padme, Grievous droids, and JKR. My next big farming goal is after SLKR is Malik. After that it gets hazy, maybe Gas or on GL number 2. I'd like to be efficient with my long-term plans, and I'm willing to change course if a different plan is more logical. I'm almost free to play. Only deviation was the BB-8 Lightspeed bundle. Even the FO ships were farmed. Let's see, nothing else from this guy. Alright, perfect. So, I've got this nice account here. We're going to see what it looks like. Hopefully, I'm being heard. I have no idea. We'll find out. I think my mic is on. We got Bronzium account, 3 million. Okay. 8 minutes. 3 million account. Let's just take out their arena page just for the hell of it. Good morning, good morning. Multi-stream. Stream chat. Let's see. Multi-stream. Read only. Refresh that. Okay. Seems like this is working now, which is nice. So we're going to take a check at this. Just like to check out their GL gear needed first and kind of get an idea of where we are with everything. SLKR, we're very close, obviously. Ray, we're far, so I know we didn't buy that Lightspeed bundle. My Mimosa. Jedi Knight Luke, we're kind of going towards a little bit. Jedi Master Luke, okay. Sith Eternal Empire, 1620. Lord Vader. Star Killer. Grand Inquisitor, yeah, I didn't think that these would be very close. Executor we have. Profundity we have. Cal Kestis, okay. What I really need to start doing, and I think I had mentioned this before to people, but what I really need to start doing here is asking people to tell me which exactly. Go away. Which, Jesus Christ, I need my coffee. Which assault battles they have up and which ones they're, you know, still working on. It kind of helps me get an idea of what we need to look at. But we'll see. SLKR will have the first order one done fairly soon. Let's check out those rebels and see where we're at. Okay, what are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could probably, once it gets, you could probably get CT3 on this fairly quickly. Bounty hunters. Bounty hunters are definitely doing CT1, maybe CT2. I'm assuming the ones that we're missing are Night Sisters. Okay, so... Yep, Night Sisters are shit. People like to laugh when I say that about their accounts, but they're not really a priority. They're one of my favorite teams, but not super important in the earlier game. Okay, and let's see what we're looking at for that Executor. If you guys, one of you that can hear me, can do me a favor on YouTube, if you could just maybe shoot a chat message just to make sure, just so I can make sure that this is working. Oh, perfect, it does. Excellent. That was the one thing, that's the one thing I was worried about. Alright, so Executor's 5-star. And what do we want to do? We want to do CLS. Okay, perfect. I like it. Second SLKR. Alright, I like it. So I hope that changes to 533 soon. Top priority. I'll take a break from signal data to get Karth to 7. Troopers. Let's just check on those troopers really quickly. Perfect. Thanks, guys, for checking in. I messed with my raid frames this morning, and this is actually my first time also going on Twitch. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing it, but it kind of screwed all of these things up, and it works in testing, but things have been getting wonky here. So let's see. I want to check out these troopers. What I really need to do next time is set up my PC and kind of beam both of these things and see if that'll work. Okay. Alright. So one of the first things that I'm going to say to do here is not to ignore CLS. It's a great team and kind of on the way of where you should be going anyway. But you're going to get a better return on investment for the assault battles with your Imperial Troopers rather than CLS. And that's just because you know, the Imperial Troopers have the 2 that you can do. You can do Rebel Roundup with them. You can also do Forest Moon with them. And because we have Executor, we already have Admiral Piet up. And I don't know why. I'm assuming you just kind of like him, which is totally fine. But that's why we have Dark Trooper up, which is going to help a lot. Stark and Veers, if you bring them both to R3 for C, which is not what my suggestion is going to be late term, but it's just something that you can do really quickly, really easily, and it's not going to hurt you in the long run. I would bring Stark and Veers up to R3, and Range Trooper where he's at now should be pretty good. And then it's going to end up just being kind of like a modding issue. Let's kind of see what our speed is here. Right, and our speed's not, it's not bad. Like, it's, especially for this part of the game. But if you bring Stark and Veers to R3, even with range where he is now, you should be able to CT3 both Rebel Roundup and Forest Moon, okay? And that's going to be important in the long run because you're going to start to build that ROI a lot quicker than if you go for CLS first. The nice thing is, later on, if you're having trouble with Rebel Roundup, which is a little bit on the tougher side compared to Forest Moon, you already have Moff Gideon at And I can't see it. It's actually behind my frame, my face. But you actually already have Moff Gideon at G12. And when I did Rebel Roundup, I had Piet at R8, Stark and Veers at R3, Range Trooper at G12, and Moff Gideon was actually only G10. It might take a couple restarts to make sure that you end that first round with nothing lost. I remember having to do that. It kind of sucked, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Okay, after you do Imperial Troopers, and just for the assault battle itself, that's when I'd go for the CLS squad. Okay, you're fairly close. You already kind of have them where they need to be, but the ROI on it is going to be just slightly lower. So you want to be able to build off of those 2 assault battles before you build off of the 1 assault battle. CT5 or R5 for these guys is not a bad. It's not a bad goal. You know, Commander Luke, you have him for Jedi Knight Luke already where he needs to be. 3PO and Chewie's going to have to go to, I think it's R6 for Jedi Master Luke. And then you're just kind of building the team around that. I'm actually kind of surprised, honestly, that you can't already do CT3 with these guys. It might just be a little bit of a survivability issue, so, you know, building them up will work, but I would 100% do that after the Imperial Troopers, not before the Imperial Troopers. Let's just see. Wampa's R3 already. Hermit Yoda. He's only level 70, but he is 7 stars, so that's good news. I'm just going to pull up this Discord again. Yeah, I mean, looking at the Discord message you sent me, my next big farm, it seems like you want to do a lot of these smaller farms before your next GL, which, I mean, in theory is fine. What ends up happening with people when they kind of come to me and I send them a plan and they say, hey, what if I do this small thing first? Or what if I do this small thing first? Or how is this going to affect my GL farm? The reality is this is a game. It is for fun. It is your goal to enjoy what you're doing. And if you hate playing, you're less likely to go further. You're less likely to continue. So when I kind of give a GL overview, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow, okay, only get the things for C, only get the things for, you know, Jedi Master Luke. What it means is, here's your framework and go from there, and if you want to take small projects on afterwards, do that. So with that said, Imperial Troopers first, right? Veer Stark to R3. That should be all that you need other than a modding issue. Go for CLS to R5 after that, and that's going to give you the CT3 on 3 out of the 7. After that, I would honestly pivot to Jedi Master Luke before you start going into some of those smaller farms again. You already have some of it done. You're on the closer side comparatively when you're talking about, you know, GL farms. Jedi Knight Luke, you know, him alone, maybe not alone because you just based off of what you said, I haven't looked yet. You might not have Revan yet. I'm not sure if you're talking about Revan or Darth Revan, but I'll find out in a second. Jedi Knight Luke with Jedi Master Luke, maybe Jedi Knight Luke alone, just depending on the other Jedi you have, is going to get you the CT3 that you need on that last, on that Jedi Assault battle. Okay, so then you'll be at 3 out of 7 on them, which is, you know, super important. Let's just check out what we got here so that I know what we're working with on these Jedi. The other important thing with Jedi Master Luke is you're at 3.3 million, and you're going to find that when you get to 4 million, you're going to really, really want... Oh, good. So you have Revan. You were talking about Darth Revan. You're going to find that you're going to really, really want somebody who's solid in Conquest, and Jedi Master Luke is most definitely the best character for that. He's going to provide you the ability to go much further in terms of your crate. And, you know, in Kyber, he's not the best GL, but we're not talking about a Kyber account here. At this point, any GL really is a good GL. And Jedi Master Luke, GL Leia, and Profundity, and Jabba, they kind of all work within this ecosystem of making each other easier to get. So it kind of like pulls you into that ecosystem. I know you're working on SLKR first. You bought the bundle. You know, you're kind of already on your way there. I know it's difficult, but when it comes to proving grounds, when you get to 4 million, I've seen videos of SLKR being able to beat pretty much all of them. Some of them will require some other investments like Thrawn. You know, I'm not an expert on that because I've literally never had to do proving grounds. But if you put the effort in and you put the modding in, it's something that's an option. So you don't really necessarily have to work with C, who this player is 3.3 million. So for myself, though, I'm 11.2. You know, just to give you context if you haven't seen that. Morning, Solo. So anyway, I do the M Troopers first. After SLKR, I do the M Troopers first. I would go into CLS after that. I would hard pivot to Jedi Master Luke after that. It sounds like from your shard chat or your fleet chat, you are able to, for the most part, do a decent amount in terms of getting, you know, battles on fleet. And actually, I just want to double check that again to see where we're falling every day. And looking at your message, it doesn't necessarily say that you connect or you talk with your fleet chat, and if not, I would hardcore, highly recommend seeing if you can get involved in that with, you know, get involved with that with them. At 5 stars, they might not want you to yet, but I don't necessarily know if the ROI is there on hard pivoting to 7 stars, especially if you're hitting under 9 a decent amount of the time, just because we're looking at another meta shift in the next, what is it, we're in February now, so like July, August, and you're not going to most likely be able to pivot to whatever the next thing is, but you are going to want to kind of be available to move towards. I'm assuming Profundity will still be useful if it's anything like right now, but definitely get involved with your shard chat. After you get Jedi Master Luke, that's maybe where you want to, you know, take another break and go for some of your other teams. I see that you want to do the Qui-Gon Jinn team. I see that you want to do a Grievous team. I see that you want to build up Malak. I would strongly consider waiting until Jedi Master Luke is done before you do a hard pivot towards those things. But I think what you're going to end up fighting is, this is my, I have a cold voice. I think what you're going to end up finding out, though, is that as you're in the middle of your Jedi Master Luke farm and you start pivoting towards mostly having to do relic stuff, that you'll end up being able to start those smaller farms on the early side, right? So the game is really about managing your farms. So if I'm towards the end of a GL grind and I have to get relics, boom, I'm getting those relics for, let's say, GL Leia. But after I've done that, or not after I've done that, but after I'm at a point where I don't need gear anymore, that's when I'm moving all of my stun guns and my Chirotech to whatever's next. So you can kind of be working on Jedi Master Luke and, you know, Padme or Malak or finishing Jedi Revan pretty much at the same exact time, right? We're looking at, with Jedi Master Luke at, I think it was 1900 or so in terms of the relic materials. We're looking at maybe like 5 to 6 months total to finish SLKR, to finish Jedi Master Luke, to start working on your smaller farms. At that point, I would reassess, okay? Just because we're going to be seeing a road ahead very soon. Hopefully this week. I'm really surprised that it didn't happen this last week, that just happened last week. And that might change things, right? There might be something that's newer that we want to go towards. My right off the bat, right off the cuff advice, which may shift in 3 months, would be to consider either profundity, just to start building on that, especially with Executor possibly losing its relevance fairly soon, or Jabba, just because Jabba is going to build off of Jedi Knight Luke, and that Smuggler's Run 2 event is just an amazing, amazing, amazing event. I wouldn't look too much further than that, because again, we're going to see some game shifts, and you're going to want to possibly pivot from there. All right, so that's the first one of the day. We're going to move on to the next one, and because I hate hearing my own voice, I've learned that if I just take notes on timestamps, that I can put in these things later without having to redo the video. So let's pull up this next one. And this next one is actually somebody that I have worked with before. Let's see when the last time they reached out to me in like November. So we're looking at a follow-up on their account from the last time that I talked with them. And let's see what they say. So you're doing videos now. I know you've already reviewed my roster. If you have time, I'd appreciate it. Freed Arena has a couple more levies than last time, so I can only get to top 5, which is fine. Not higher, but I'm consistently getting that. I know you have suggested to make a fleet shard chat, but I haven't actually done that yet. It's too much work for me. Assault battles. I feel like I'm on Catfish. I need like a sidekick, like a Cammy or something, or who Max. Assault battles, places of power CT3, military might nothing, ground war CT1, forest moon CT1, rebel roundup CT1, inquisitors nothing, will be CT3 soon, so I guess he's been working on his inquisitors. Farming plan, done with Rey, her ult, 20 shards left on each of the 2 sisters. I have everything farmed up so I can take them to R7 immediately. After I R7 them, I plan on finishing Cat and the SK teams. They are great characters that sit at low gear that bothers me. I know you suggested C, but after discussing this with guildmates, I decided that a better path would be Jedi Knight Luke and JML would benefit the raid score. A Conquest, and he is a GL after all. Also, I'm hoping that another Rebel LSB will come up soon to help me with that. I'm okay with showing my GG, blah, 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 blah. All right. So, let's see what we got here for this guy. Let's pull him up. Cuncinator. A lot of people get apologetic when they don't take my advice, and you know, the reality is when I give advice, I'm not expecting everyone to follow it to the law. I'm just kind of giving my perspective on things, and I know that other content creators, I've been finding lately that sometimes what happens is that people will like get a roster review from me and then get roster reviews from like 5 or 6 other people. And I saw on Reddit that somebody had kind of listed all of our differing advice. And I found that cool. 2, I kind of laughed at it. But 3, my advice is based off of my play experience and kind of the information that you give me. And if your information says, hey, I'm really into this side of the game, I'm going to try to answer the question from that side of the game. If I don't get that type of question or I don't get that type of response, I'm always going to take it from my point of view or what I would do for maximum ROI versus, you know, what might be best for GAC or whatever else. So let's see what we got here. Cuncinator. So we got a 6 million account. We're constantly hitting. We're getting into the top 5 for the most part. See, you say top 5, but I'm not seeing top 5 in the last couple of days. So maybe you meant top 10. In terms of, you know, having time to set up a fleet chat, as a 6 million account, I'm really, really, really surprised that your fleet doesn't already have a chat. And I don't know if you've reached out to any of them at all just to kind of see if they have that going on already. I did do a YouTube video. It's 4 minutes. I hate long videos, so I was very cognizant to make it a short video of just how to contact people because it's not intuitive for people that don't know. It's all just fatigue. It's just about finding the intuitive way to kind of reach out to these people, because the game doesn't make it easy. Obviously, CG doesn't want you contacting people and organizing. And I think what you probably will find out is when you talk to those people, they might say, oh yeah, hey, we already have a chat. If they don't, and it is too much work, then, then it is what it is. Then if you're not able to do it, maybe you can start the chat group, but end up like having somebody else take it over, but I can't be the person doing that. So 4-star executor, I would probably recommend bringing this up to 5-star as soon as possible. At 5 stars, it can pretty consistently take on a 7-star executor, and it can pretty consistently take on most profundities as long as you have the relic levels at kind of like that R5 spot. So you might find getting further just a little bit easier for you. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what I wanted to look at before we look at these GLs? Let's just take a look at those Inquisitors real quick. Alright, so you say CT3 really soon for Inquisitors, and what I am going to tell you is that once you have Grand Inquisitor, you can definitely do CT3, but it is a pain in the ass, okay? It might not be worth it to bother doing that until you have Reva, or I always say Reva, but Reva. CT2 is definitely possible. It's definitely not the hardest thing in the world, but unless you're a masochist that really wants to kind of like hit their head in the wall, I'd kind of stop at that CT2 until you get the 3rd sister, just to make things easier, just so that you don't have to deal with it. But, that's up to you. I personally, my time is the most valuable thing that I have, and I'm not going to sit there for hours and hours and hours doing those things. So we're going to ignore the C route, because obviously you've talked to some people, you disagree with the route. That's completely fine with me. It doesn't bother me. I think C is definitely the best first GL for most accounts, for a multitude of reasons, and obviously Lightspeed bundles. Okay, Star Killer. Let's see. Jabba, we're nowhere near. Profundity 980. Let's just take a look at these. I have everything farmed in R7 immediately. Then after that, I put a in Cat and SK teams. They get carry some gear. So here's the thing. You're done with Rey. 20 shards left each on the 2 sisters. So that's only a couple days away. You have the gear to take them to R7. And then you want to work on Cat and SK. And SK, you already have the characters, obviously. I'm pretty sure you bought the bundle. And your Cat team, is going to require some degree of relicking. We're going to look at a raid shift probably around August, September, October, somewhere in there. So the longer it takes you to get Jedi Knight Luke, the less ROI you and your guild are going to be seeing in terms of actual investment, right? It's all well and good to get a higher raid box, but if that higher raid box comes at a cost of not actually increasing what you've gotten over the long term, it doesn't help you much. So you might want to consider, after those Inquisitors, if Jedi Knight Luke is your goal, hard pivoting to Jedi Knight Luke right away. That way you have a longer period of time that you're getting a better personal raid box and you're getting a better guild box, hopefully, depending on how close your guild is to being able to do that. Being a 6 million account, Jedi Master Luke is solid in Conquest, and he's going to give you that CT3 in Ground War. Okay, you can probably do it with just Jedi Knight Luke, depending. Let's see what our Jedi look like. Okay, so with just Jedi Knight Luke, you're probably not going to be getting CT3 just because I don't see any strong, like really solid tanks here. But once you have Jedi Master Luke, you know, between having a super slow Jedi Knight Luke, maybe Revan at R5, Jedi Master Luke at R5 to R7, somewhere in there, though I think all GL should hard go to R7 no matter what. Grand Master Yoda, and I would put Kenobi, but it's not a priority to level him right now, so maybe I would throw an Obi-Wan just for the ability blocks. But if you do that and you have that slow... So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm reading Discord messages that I've gotten over the last week. Okay, so what ends up happening is I'm very, very big on Reddit and text, and video is very new to me. So I'm trying out some new things. This is my first time, obviously, being on Twitch. And people reach out to me constantly. And I've fallen behind on getting these roster reviews done. So Sunday morning, I'm popping a mimosa and just reading the Discord messages that they have sent me throughout the week with their requests for help. And I did have a multi-chat kind of set up between YouTube and Twitch, but it doesn't seem to be working correctly, and I'll have to figure that out another time. But anyway, Jedi Master Luke, I think, is going to provide you with better advantages right now than Padme and SKR, especially if the raid is your priority. You know, you can take a break from your GL grinds after you go for Jedi Knight Luke. That's completely fine. And then if you want to kind of work on your Cat and SK teams, then that's fine. You know, we have to have our fun. For me, being efficient is fun. For me, being a little bit silly and relicking up ridiculous characters just for the hell of it, you know, on a stream is kind of fun. For other people, their favorite characters are what makes them fun. With that Padme and SK team, I would also strongly consider, even if you're not going to hard pivot to C, that's fine. At least bring Stark and Veers to R3, because they will be at the C requirement level for much later. Bring range to G12, so no Chirotech investment, and to 7 stars. And I would say Snowtrooper, just because he's cheap, to G12. And just with that, you should be able to increase your Forest Moon to CT3 in the very short term, as well as your Rebel Roundup at least to CT2 in the short term. When I did Rebel Roundup, I had an R8 Admiral Piet, R3 General Veers, R3 Colonel Stark, G12 Range Trooper, and like a G10 Moff Gideon. So your Moff Gideon's roughly the same as well. Snowtrooper worked better for Forest Moon. It's a super cheap team, and it's going to really help you with that investment overall. I see your military might right now is pretty much a 0, and I'm going to tell you that once you pivot to Jedi Master Luke, you're going to see a big increase in this, just because you're going to have Commander Luke Skywalker is going to be up where he needs to be. It's almost a travesty that he's as low as he is right now. Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO is actually already fairly decent, and then Chewpio you have to get to R5. Once you have that, you'll be able to do CT3 of military might, okay? So what'll end up happening is you'll have a much better ROI, and you don't even have to go for C. I disagree with not doing it, but that's fine. You know, I think that just kind of changing your path slightly is going to help you significantly. So if I were to do anything differently, I'd say hard pivot to Jedi Master Luke right now, or not right now, once you finish like exactly what you're working on right this second. Obviously finish the Inquisitors, get those Imperial Troopers where I said to get them. It's a very low investment. finish up anything you need to do with your rebels that is outside the purview of Jedi Master Luke. That'll kind of build your ROI on pretty much everything. And then at that point, you know, that's when you work on SK. That's when you work on Cat. And I think you'll see just like a compound going on from there, okay? If you have any questions, if you want to figure out how to even just contact your fleet shard, you know, you can hit me up on Discord. I'll explain it to you. I'll send you the video. It's literally 4 minutes long because I want to make things as concise as possible. All right, so let's move on from there. We're making some pretty good time, actually, which is nice. The next one, let's pull this guy up. RandomDink. It's a funny name. All right, let's see what we got from RandomDink. Hoping to get a queue for the roster reviews. I'm a 7.3 million roster, currently Kyber 3, riding the backs of Leia and Drogon Kron. I'll be happy to stay in Kyber for the foreseeable future. Whether it's Kyber 3 or not is immaterial. I have a lot of bulk in my roster, which bumps my GP, so I'd estimate it actually plays more like a 5 to 6 million roster. Okay, that's interesting, so kind of bloated a little bit. My top 20 fleet is mostly Leviathans and Profundities with the odd Executor thrown in. I tend to score around 25 with my Executor. I haven't reached out to see if there's any planning in the fleet chart. It's on my list of things to get to. Guild does 20 in ROTE. There is no significant push for Riva or Jedi Knight Cal Kestis from leadership. Assault battles are 6 of 7 at CT1, 5 of 7 on FD. I'm assuming means Forest Moon. 5 to 7 at CT2 and 3 to 7. Fanatical Devotion, right? I always forget that it's called Fanatical Devotion. I just call it Inquisitors. 3 to 7 at CT3. Currently cheesing CT3 a place of power. I tend to get the 450 chest in Conquest, but I usually pick up the pass for the extra shards. So that's like an extra $30, well, $10 if you're buying the cheap pass. As such, I tend to be on good timeline to unlock the Conquest characters either at the beginning of the opening run or early into the second run. Alright, so we're going to be getting Bane fairly quickly. Just finished farming requirements for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and gearing up my my Ufu team as I unlocked Malicos. After Rey, the plan was to pivot to Profundity, then move into Jabba, slow farming these requirements now. However, with the timeline, I'm on the new fleet meta will be revealed before I have Profundity. I'm not sure if I should bother. Also, I'm not that far off on C. One concern with the new fleet meta is my Seps and Galactic Republic characters are not geared up in any meaningful way, so I'm not sure if I should pivot there as I'll be behind if it's prequel related. Okay, so one thing, you know, for anybody that isn't aware of my text-based content is that I don't like to what's the word? I don't like to guess, right? I don't like to do things based off of unknowns because that you end up getting screwed over. Guys, do me a favor. If you hit me up on Discord, it's Egnards, no caps. I'll send you my roster review sheet if you're looking for one. I don't know if I'll get to it today because I literally have a huge backlog. I don't know if I'm even going to get to all of these, but I'll send you exactly what you need to send me, and it'll help out quite a bit. So in terms of the fleet chart, I'd 100% be doing that as soon as possible. I know it seems daunting. I do that a lot where I kind of like, where I procrastinate things that I know I should be doing, but mostly in my real life, and this is just a game, so I guess you have a one-up on me and not being really necessarily a big deal. What I will say is we're going into an area of an unknown, I guess, with this new fleet shift in about 5 to 6 months. Executor will be 3 years out at that point, and we have no idea if it'll remain relevant at the 3-year point. Profundity, maybe. It most likely will if it follows the same trend as Executor, which, you know, is still relevant right now, and it can beat Leviathan right now with a little extra investment in it. I see people in my fleet chart do it all the time. So I'd be careful of thinking about unknowns. You know, you can get screwed really, really easily, or you can kind of win the lottery. I'm not a gambling person at all. So it's not something that I necessarily would recommend doing. Let's just check out where we are on this guy. Ships. Just see where my executor is. Okay, executor is at 5 stars. And it's tough, you know, it's tough to recommend bringing it to 7 stars right now because of all of the uncertainty and because of all of the unknowns. Let me just see again where we are on our arena shard. We have Leia. I mean, we're not really getting any fleet crystals right now, which really, really, really sucks. Like that blows. Let's see. So you say mostly Leviathans and Profundities in your top 20, which means that you can pretty consistently get into that top 20. I think it's really just an issue of communicating with people, and you shouldn't have an issue with it. Not knowing any more information at this point, I would say don't go crazy bringing it to 7 stars, but you might consider doing 1 or 2 refreshes a month just to kind of expedite that process at this point. Now, you mentioned that we're pretty close on C, so I'm curious about that. Got Ray here. Ray is very close. Okay, we obviously... obviously, I hope that we're considering finishing Ray. You clearly bought the Lightspeed bundle. Yeah, Bill Nye, like, you know, for me, again, for those that don't know my text content on Reddit, I'm very big on the ROI, right? A lot of players, they make the mistake of just saying, oh, more, right? Or bigger, or like, I get 100 versus 50. But if you're spending 20,000 crystals to do that, and you're only really getting a return of, and these are made up numbers, but a return of 10,000 over the lifespan, you've actually lost out, and that's essentially what CG wants you to do, and that's why they make it so hard for you guys to communicate with each other. So I always look at ROI. I'm always looking at like what's the best way to do this versus what's the best way to do that, and is it actually helping my account? So for example, as a GAC turtle, right? GAC, I play very defensively. It's not a game mode that I personally enjoy. I'm in K2. I haven't brought my Jedi Master Luke to R9. I have the materials to do it right now, but I don't see a material benefit for a player like me where it might get a hold every once in a while. I'm happy to stay in K2, and that kind of 50% win rate that they want us at, I'm not going to see a difference, right? So that's kind of where I am at with that. But going back to this player, you know, I would... my Discord name is Egnards, all right? Egnards with no capitals, okay? So lowercase e. Obviously finish Rey. You're just so close to her. And at 7 million, I mean, we're still at the point where any GL is a good GL to have. Let's just kind of check this out. We say we're not too far from C, but 1500 can be kind of tough. Let's just check out Jabba, Profundity, just kind of getting an idea of where we are on these guys. Leviathan, we're fairly far. I'm assuming that he has Malgus. I agree. You know, for me, I get the enjoyment out of the efficiency, the numbers, the math. That's what is fun to me. But I interact with and I do reviews for a lot of players where they're like, oh man, this character is my favorite character of the entire world. I really want to get them. And when I do these reviews for these people, I do try to kind of bring that in there because I understand wanting to play with your favorite characters, right? Merrin, I brought to R9 almost immediately. Shout out to Arnold who actually bought me Merrin. He uses a lot of my math content on his streams. So I guess he kind of felt bad and thought it would be fun if I was able to do that. And Marin's just a fun character to me. So, you know, even though she's kind of irrelevant at that level, I still was like, hey, I need to do this. All right, let's see. Malgus. We don't have Malgus yet. That's interesting. Okay. Which means that our ship is not going to be up, but let's just check where the other ships are. Mark 6, B-28 isn't even farmed yet. Okay, what about Dagger? Okay, so again, I'm not a gambling man, right? I can only look at the information that we have right now. I would be finishing Ray just because Ray is going to be super easy for you right now, and with how quick or how close you are to her, it'll significantly help you in the long run just to have another Galactic Legend. At that point, I really think, I think it's a smart play to be going for Profundity. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that Executor is going to be relevant 3 years out. It's already struggling against Leviathan. And I think that having Profundity is going to give you, one, a much better answer in Kyber anyway, because you need all of those extra fleets. And two, even if you don't bring it to 7 stars immediately, you're going to start compounding those shards pretty quickly. You're far from Leviathan. I don't know what your Malgus shards look like. I just know that he's not active right now. So it's unrealistic for us to go for Leviathan right at this point, even though that's probably the safest route in terms of worrying about your fleet crystals in the long run. It will take the most amount of time. I would probably recommend going for Profundity more short term. And listen, I love C. I think, let's just see. Just want to double check this before I say anything. Rebel Roundup, no. Okay, so I love C, and it looks like you're going to be getting Bane pretty much in short order. But I think Profundity is just going to be more important to you as a player to start building towards if you're concerned about your fleets. At that point, I think that there's 2 options that you can go for. You can either go for Jabba, who is probably going to be a little bit quicker than C. Let's just check these marquees real quick. I hate freaking autocorrect. Quercetan, Marquis, 4 stars, okay. Skiff, 4 stars. And Bosch, 7 stars. Okay, so I think Jabba will actually be a little bit quicker for you. And Smuggler's Run 2 is an amazing event. It's a great ROI event for modding. Also, you're going to get that CT3 and Rebel Roundup by doing it. So I think that Jabba is a really smart play at that point. But I also see the merits in going for C at that point, especially because you're considering and expecting to get Bane within 2 months. For those just joining us, good morning. Good morning. I personally, even though I recommend C constantly, I personally would say go for Jabba over C with where you are in the game right now, right? So I'd go Profundity just to kind of give yourself some more leverage in your fleet. I would go for Jabba afterwards for that Rebel Roundup, for a great GL, for something that works great in ROT, and for something that has a great ROI event like Smuggler's Run 2. And then I'd go for C after that, right? Because you will have Bane at that point, and I do believe in Bane, right? I know I'm going to be one of those people that makes the mistake of doing 3 Omicrons on Bane pretty much immediately. And that's always screwed me in the past, but I'm super pumped for him. And that's not from a lore perspective. I don't give a shit who Bane is. I've just always been on the C train, and I'm super pumped for him to have somebody else working with him at this point. I wouldn't go further than C, because you are looking at, based on where you're at and based on where your account is, we're looking at a 6 to 8 month timeline, right? And in 6 to 8 months, I say this all the time, we're going to see some major shifts in the game, from a new raid being announced to probably a new GL being announced, to people are saying there's going to be a new ROTE planet. So I'm seeing a lot of different things that may or may not start happening. And I think that having that Profundity, Jabba, and then C route will kind of bring you in fairly far. And C is going to really help you with kind of those proving grounds as well. So what we're going to do at this point, we've gone through 3 roster reviews, and I have 4 more that I definitely need to get done, whether I do them today or not. But I also need to get my raid done for the day. So, you know, I'm going to drop this thing down for a minute. Okay, we're going to pop this down, and we are going to pop my game up. And we are going to go through my raid and just kind of get that done. Now, for those of you who don't know me and are just joining me for the first time, one important thing to know is I'm super on the ROI on my time. And I have literally never, ever once manualed this raid. I know I can get a higher score. I know that I'm doing myself a disservice. It's just not fun for me. It's not interesting to me. I still have to do it. I still have to run my 7 battles, my 8 battles. So I kind of just play through and do what I need to do. Oh my God. While this first one is running, I'm going to step out for just a minute because I am done with my first brunch drink and I need a refill. No, you can't come in here. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully everybody else has a mimosa with them this morning while they're joining me for all this lovely fun. One thing that I forgot to do that I will do after this run finishes is I did want to bring Hera and Captain Rex to R8. Not necessarily for the raid, but I have been working on my Phoenix for just for fun because Captain Rex makes them fun. So I wanted to use them a little bit higher this morning. Oof. There we go. And Hera, right? Gotta get Hera. There go all my relic materials. Now her mods suck, but whatever. Let's see what we can do with them. Maybe bring some of that. No, why would speed ever roll, right? Speed never rolls. Let's take health off, see if we can. Alright, I'll give you some tenacity. I fucking hate this game sometimes, I really do. Let's see. Okay, alright, I'll take that. Alright, see that wasn't so hard, right? Like, why can't we do that more often? Let's bring this one up. There we go. Look at this. Building up those Phoenix one character at a time, if I could get. Alright, well, I guess that's all I can do with them today. One thing while we're doing this that I'm going to be doing later, I'm super excited about this. It kind of came out of nowhere. Again, for those of us joining us for the first time on Twitch, I run an account on YouTube where I do interviews with Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players and content creators just for fun. And I've done some with some bigger names. So, I talked to Bit Dynasty a few weeks ago. I talked to Celiac Sarah a few weeks ago. I'm trying to get Meathead to talk to me, and we've been going back and forth on that. But I have one today that I'm super excited for because I love spicy food, and I found somebody on the Galaxy Hero subreddit that also really likes spicy food, and we've been going back and forth for months. So we're going to kind of do like a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Hot Ones challenge a little later. I don't think it's going to post today, but I'm very excited for doing it. I'm going to have to make a ton of wings, some milder ones for my wife who does not like spicy food the way that I do, and then kind of challenge myself with some like ghost pepper extract. So for anyone that's interested in that kind of thing and the talking aspect or the communication aspect of the game and the people who play it, check that out. It's one of my favorite things to do each week. I call them interviews. It's really not. It's more like a chat. People ask me questions. I ask them questions. I just like finding out about people and what makes them tick, and what they might find interesting in life. And, I like to talk about the game a little bit, but I also like to find out different things about the way that people are. So Celiac Sarah, for example, I found out that we're both reality TV junkies. So we ended up talking about that for a little while. Bit Dynasty, we talked about traveling for a little while. I'm very known for my text math content. I spoke with this guy David last week, and we kind of disproved pretty much every conspiracy theory in the game. We've been tracking data for years and years and years on some of this stuff. So it's just a fun little thing that I do, that I enjoy and that I look forward to. But I understand with jobs that's a mind-numbing experience. Like I don't envy you at all. Or maybe I do for other reasons, who knows. How's everyone's territory wars going? I did a stream Friday night where I completely was brain dead because my wife went to bed early and I wasn't planning on doing it. And I ended up showing off our entire guild's defense as I was like placing teams, just kind of bored. And I got yelled at by our officers who said we were going to lose, but it ends up that the team we were playing against just set kind of like a meme defense. So for the first time ever, I got first place on attacks and was able to, we were able to clear the board pretty easily. So I guess that was an unwarranted thing on my Jar Jar. Well, which Jar Jar Reddit posts? Because I have like a dozen of those. There's just so many of them. The petition, the AI assisted kit that I did. Oh, I don't have any leaders at R7. I don't think I have the stuff to bring anyone to R7 either. What should I do? The petition. Guys, let me tell you, if any of you don't know about the Jar Jar petition right now, it's got 2,700 names on it. And I sent it to Meathead and I said, hey man, like help me out. Because he's kind of the reason that we started the petition. And he trolled me a little bit and basically goaded me into saying, yeah, you need more names. Like, this is nothing. 2,700 is nothing. So let's keep getting the word out on that petition. I would love to see it get to 5,000. I thought it'd get to like 300. And it's at the 2,700 right now. And I'm in the middle of doing a Jar Jar video at the moment that I want to get out at some point. To kind of get the word out, but get that word out to your alliance, get that word out to the event Discord channel, get that word out to like your friends that play the game. I know some of you are on like Facebook. I'm not on any of the Facebook game groups, but like get that out to people. If we can get that higher, one, I'll go back to Meathead and I'll be like, hey man, you see, like, hey, this is awesome. Like, we got so many people that are really down for Jar Jar. But two, he's a character that I will immediately bring to R9. I agree with you. Confused buff, hands down. I think Jar Jar should spread the confused buff to everybody on the field. And everybody should have a problem with it, obviously, but it should also give buffs to your team as well. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say more dodge. More dodge sucks, but there should be some kind of increase as well just for your own team. I actually see him, I've been saying this for like 2 to 3 years now, but I see him as a tank / support, but a tank that doesn't use taunt. So kind of like Leia, but I've been saying this since way before Leia. And the idea would be that instead of tanking things, he kind of just falls in front of damage, and sometimes no damage is dealt, and sometimes he just takes the damage. And I think it would be I think he'd be one of the more fun kits in the game. When I played HOTS, Heroes of the Storm, I went, and not Lord of the Rings, League of Legends, I really gravitated towards characters that had weird kits, or like that played in a really, really strange way. So like I like to play characters like Abathur, who, you know, was in the back the entire time, or the 3 Vikings that you had to like bounce between all of the time. God. One thing I will say with this raid is that what kind of sucks to me is that you do have to run this, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, 8 amount of times. See, I can count. I really wish that there was something in the way that the raid worked where I could use my other R8s to just run it once. And if I could just run this one time and get all 8 characters worth of credit, or 8 teams worth of credit, meaning I'd still need them at R8, I would probably be much more apt to running it on manual constantly, which right now is something that I don't do. I don't see the point. Let's see, what do we got? 3 more battles we gotta do. Fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm a proponent of, I get why they don't want us to post our last score. Like, I understand why it makes sense that they don't want you to do that. But I would love that feature. So I don't think it's a realistic feature, but I do agree with it. I would be much more likely to really focus on maximizing my score if I could do something like that. Because again, this is the most watching of this raid that I've ever done. I don't normally, watch at all. I don't even look at it. I'm normally watching like 90 Day Fiance with my wife while I'm running these raids. Because they're not interesting, and when it came to crate raid, I only did Jabba. I would only run a Jabba raid. My guild only does the 208 box. We've put out a poll, we've talked to officers, we know we can get the next box, but as a guild, everyone has decided they're just not interested in running the raid that many times on manual. And I'm okay with it because I already feel like Not that I have too many materials, but I don't feel limited anymore by the materials that I have. Big Ed, man. I gotta tell you, one, I'm glad that at least somebody else here likes Big Ed, but my wife and I, we have our thing. We're almost done with the raid. I know, I literally hate this raid, and the only reason I'm doing it is I'm like, oh, hey, I can watch the chat instead of watching the raid. We're gonna get back to Big Ed in a second. I'm a big I get motion sickness. I don't get motion sickness from watching this raid, but I do get motion sickness in the car, and Dramamine is like my best friend, so it does piss me off that they still haven't, like, they've acknowledged the fact that it can give people motion sickness, and it kind of pisses me off that they've acknowledged it, but they haven't given us an option to fix it for the people that are affected by it. But going back to Big Ed, and I'm really glad that somebody here also appreciates Big Ed. My wife and I, what we like to do is we'll go on Cameo, and for like birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas, we'll just send each other cameos from people on 90 Day Fiancé. So I've sent her a cameo from Big Ed, and she sent me one from Big Ed. I sent her one from like Statler and Caesar, and that guy from South Africa, Sinjin. It's just kind of the thing that we do back and forth. Yeah, they very early on, they did say that they recognized that a small amount of players would be affected by the backgrounds because of motion sickness. And it really annoyed me that they acknowledged it, but they kind of said, we're not going to do anything about it. Because it's a really simple fix, right? Like, they don't have to actually do anything to fix this other than make the background static, or at least make the background static as an option. So that is one pet peeve that I'm having right now with them. All right, this is my last one. Yeah, when it comes to optimizing for this raid, I just feel like because you're not actually using your character's rosters, there comes down to being a very basic, like, hey, this is what you need to do, right? Like, again, that sucked, 166,000. We're gonna discard and exit, and this is the first time I'm discarding and exiting. We're gonna go down one and just see what happens. When I was talking to Celiac Sarah, who is, she loves this raid, like really loves this raid and loves maximizing. Her advice is like, hey, just don't use the middle ability, like Jam you never use. And it's just kind of ridiculous that that's the strategy, is like that there's just things that you're not supposed to touch. And you're supposed to just kind of like let them be as they are. Which to me is just completely silly. Right, is that there's parts of the game where they're saying like, oh, the best strategy is just to ignore those parts of the game. But what I will say, I'm gone again. Oh man, getting drunk and my wife's not even up yet. She's gonna be pissed. What I will say is, outside of this raid, oh, look at that, 8.5. Wow, I've never done that on manual auto. The thing that I hate more than this raid is just probably the Leviathan meta that we're dealing with right now. I hate the mirror meta. I hate that people in my shard are like playing with the meta and are, let's just do this. It's almost like an arms race. I was kind of pissed off a few days ago because somebody brought their one ship, not the Sith fighter, I don't remember which one, to R9, which made it more difficult to easily mirror. And I was really annoyed because I was like, oh, now I have to do that, and I'm really looking forward to each month that passes. I go, oh man, I'm so glad that this is almost done, that we're only 6 months out, that we're only this far out, you know, that I don't have to deal with this anymore. So right now I'm just kind of autoing through some of my Conquest. I've already got Red Crate, and the reason why I'm doing that is I know I can sim it, and actually I'm going to take some credit for saying simming happened, just because I was one of those first people that really brought that to the attention of CG and had a very popular post about it. But I know that a lot more people on the forums probably did too. So I'm not saying it's just my effort. Is doing roster reviews takes a ton of effort mentally, and this takes absolutely no effort. So even though I could sim this, I know that the next thing that I have to do is go back to kind of doing some of these roster reviews, which is fine. I love helping people. But it's nice to be able to turn my brain off for a second as well. Is everybody done with their Conquest? All finished, Red Crate, Gold Crate. They're happy with where they are. Let's see if I can get a buddy in here. Let's see if he's on. You. So what I'm doing right now is like, oh, I didn't even press the button. Finished yesterday. Oh, that sucks, man. I've had runs like that where I didn't get any Amplify Agonies until like Sector 5, and those are the most painful conquests. I'm just texting somebody really quick in regards to the game, and I'll check back in just a second. There we go. Bane Day 1. Didn't have to be this painful. I've been really lucky. You know, it didn't have to be this painful. My first run really sucked. It took me like 260 battles or something like that, and I freaking hated it. This time around, I finished in 7 days. I did get my Amplify Agonies relatively quickly. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that are really great at Conquest. I name drop her a lot because she is really good, and I don't listen to a lot of other content creators, but I've been listening to Celiac Sarah's podcast because, much like my own Tales series, it's very conversational and I really like it. She's amazing at Conquest. Bit Dynasty is amazing at Conquest. There's a guy on Reddit, Kazgul, who is also amazing at Conquest. And I kind of use them as a resource. I know Kazgul sometimes uses me a little bit of as a resource as well. I have an account that makes it fairly easy. You know, to be able to do it. And the first time through is kind of like a learning experience. But once you get that first time through, as long as you get the right stuff, you know, you should be pretty good. What I'm trying to do right now is I got a buddy who is also a creator, Bones, and I'm hoping I can get him involved in this, you know, because I want to go into the next Your headset is connected. I want to get him involved. We're going to turn this off. I want to get him involved in the next roster review, and we're going to see if I can do that. But being that I'm newer to this, we're going to see if it actually works. So we'll do some Conquest. We'll finish those up as we do it. I think that the Conquest that I did the quickest was probably the Ben Solo one. I think I managed to do that in like 5 days, only doing the 50 refreshes. That was a big accomplishment, and it was super easy. One thing that I do tell people is, I can't get everybody to red crate, but if you have trouble, Discord me, and I might be able to help you out. I have tons of people that message me constantly. Again, it's Egnards. It's the same as my my Twitch name, lowercase Egnards. And whenever I have time, I do help people. So if that's something that you need, and you're like, hey, I can't get this feat done. Somebody yesterday was like, hey, I can't get this feat done. Like, this sucks. I guess I got to stop here. And I looked at his roster and was like, oh man, like if you just do this, and that, you should be able to at least get that done. When I start this next battle, I just want to grab myself another mimosa. So, because that's what Egnards does. He's a closet alcoholic. But I do have something I want to tell you guys. Just give me 45 seconds. Sunday morning drinking with Egnards. He just sits here. That's exactly what I do. Egnards drinks and he knows things, and I've definitely said that on Reddit more than one time. More than 2 times, more than 3 times, who knows? So one thing I did want to mention to anyone that is here, anyone who is here right now, I had posted this on Reddit, and I know that we're all over the world, but my wife, she is a part of this community that I'm assuming a drinking interview. That's what Tales is. Tales is a drinking interview. We get a little bit drunk and we have a little bit of fun. But my wife is a part of a community called Quinn, and for those who probably don't know, Quinn is, I call it, it is, but it isn't. I call it audio porn. And it's basically audio porn for women. There's a very funny very funny comedian, Taylor Tomlinson, who does a bit about it, and how, like, in the first 10 minutes of one, it's all about just asking if you're okay. And she's big in that community, and she kind of does the same thing in that community that I do here, and they're doing like a meet up on February 24th. I think the 24th is a Saturday, right? Let's see. February 24th. They're doing a meetup on February 24th in New York City, and I kind of told her, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. And my plan for anyone that is in the Jersey or New York City kind of area is on February 24th, heading to my favorite bar in Manhattan, Beer Culture, which is on the same street as Moulin Rouge. I think it's 49th Street. And just having a couple beers, because I enjoy that bar atmosphere. And anyone who plays the game and is in the area, is welcome to stop by and say hi and kind of just chat and hang out for a little bit. There are a few people in the North Jersey area who have said, hey, they might try to come by, and if nobody does, then I'm gonna chat with. Oh, dude, that sucks. I'll just hang out with the bartenders that I know there. But I figured she's gonna have some fun. I put it on Reddit. Some people mentioned it. Manhattan to Phoenix. I've been to Phoenix once, but that was just a 1 hour layover. In the Phoenix airport. I don't remember where I was going. I might have been going to California. I'm not 100% sure. If you're in New York City and you're 18, you're not going to be able to drink in the bar, but this particular bar is not going to card you to get in, I don't think. I think you'll be able to sit at the bar. But they also are they are a beer and whiskey place only, and they don't have like sodas or anything. And yes, they are very strict, and they do ID everybody. I get ID'd every time. I know I have like this nice young complexion. Getting into Manhattan is not pleasant. I always take the bus. Always take the bus. 100% of the time, I take the NJT and I take a Dramamine and I pass out for an hour, and an hour later I wake up in the city. It's one of our favorite things to do. We both like Broadway. We both like live shows. A guest has joined. Let's see, is Bones here? Show on stream. Hide on stream. Let's see. We're gonna try to see if I can get my boy Bones in here. Web source cam. Oh, so let's change it to this guy. Assigned a source guest Bones. So my wife and I, we really like Broadway. We really like, doing that kind of thing. We'll go to Broadway. We'll go to a show. We'll go to a movie, not a movie. We'll go to dinner, and we'll go to our favorite bar there. My man, Bones. I know I got you on Discord. Hit me up. Are you seeing anything? Are you hearing anything? Capture device. Let's see if this works. So, you see yourself. Guys, does anybody else see another guy in the right-hand corner? Because I do not see him, and I do not hear him, and I would really love to hear him because he's a very funny guy. And I'm still learning these things. Signed a source. No. Alright, so I'm going to take a minute to try and figure this out because it is worth, like, I see you right here, man. Oh, wait. I think I got you here. Hold on. Bones, am I able to hear you? I see you. But I don't think I hear you yet. Oh, I want to hear you so badly. Alright, we're going to take 30 seconds to figure this out while I try really, really, really hard because I want to hear him so much. Webcam. Webcam. Yeah, man, I see you. I see that your audio is going. Is anybody else hearing him? I see that he's talking. I don't hear him. Audio, no. Oh, man. We gotta figure this out because he... Alright. So here's what we're gonna do. Video is there, yeah. Well, I just kicked him out by accident. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a couple minutes. We're gonna take like 2, maybe 3 minutes to try to get this figured out. For those who don't know who Bowens is, he has a podcast as well. He has a podcast as well, Three Scoundrels. They are very, very funny. I enjoy talking with them. I'd love to get him here. So go grab yourself a drink. Let me see if I can get this figured out. And if not, me and him will play with it over the next like week or so for next time. We're going to do a guest cam. Webcam source. Alright, we're going to see if we can get him in here again. We're going to remove the collab cam. Let's see, can we get him to work? Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to delete it. Alright, okay. I can't seem to get it to work right now. So let me just message him real quick. I'm not sure if he hears me, and we're going to continue. Alright, so here's what we're going to do here. Oh, my phone. We're going to pop this. We are going to throw up another roster review because I got a bunch of these that need to get done. It would really, really friggin' help me to be able to get them done as soon as possible. So we're going to capture this. You can clearly see that I'm not the kind of person who knows what the hell I'm doing. I just want to have fun. All right. So we're going to pop this back over. This is the same roster review I was doing before. We're going to change this over to the next one that I need to get going. I'm just going to take a timestamp so that I have it. All right. So this guy's got a name, man. Like BigSimp. BigSimp. Let's see. All right. We're going to pull up his .gg. See what we got. A little curious about what you have to say about my account. I think after watching all your roster review videos, your answer is going to give me Jabba. All right, if you get a chance to look, I would greatly appreciate it. I know you are very busy. Top 20 of my fleet is mainly Leviathan. I'm in my shard chat. I only have Executor GL ship, but I am capable and do get to 1 almost every day. All right, so that's awesome. Night Sister Phoenix 1, I am able to get the CT1. That's all that's important right now. Once I get my Rex to 7 stars, I should be able to... oh, they're unable to. Okay, so yeah, CT Rex can do CT1 of Secrets and Shadows pretty easily. CT2, I think I've seen it done. CT3, as far as I know, is impossible. But CT1 is the most important part. If I remember correctly, the Jedi 1, I can only do CT1. Then the Empire Sith, I can do CT3. I may be able to do the Inquisitor 1, but I don't remember. All right, well, that's fun. CT1, 6 of 7. CT2, 5 of 7. CT3, 2 or 3 of 7. My current farms are typically Grand Arena focused, which I know you don't like. Crazy. Yeah, that comes down to an ROI thing, but, you know, to each their own. I am currently deciding whether or not to go for Kenobi or to flush out my teams that I already have. I just geared up Django to relics from Mandalorians, but since that's a JMK requirement, I decided I'd do Django then decide. I know you kind of just look at preliminary at the relic materials to see how close someone is, but for me, I have 8 of 14 of the characters relic and the rest at 7 stars. I am also currently 1xing the command shuttle for SOKR since I bought the pack. Alright, so that's smart. You should definitely... I've seen so many people do these packs and they completely ignore them. They just kind of like get them to get them. And I have to like process it because it's a pain in my ass. So that's smart. Just so that you don't have a decipher, I bought the Rey, Radis, BB-8, and the Rebel bundles. I am chronically checking Discord, so if you're able to get around to my roster, I can always answer questions and open a voice chat if that's something you want to do. I personally would be interested in that. I've never done that with somebody, but I would be open. Some important shard counts. Okay, so we're close on those things. Since I've gotten back into the game, I've been putting a ton of time into it, and I've moved into a guild that is serious about things like Conquest. I have basically 100% win rate in TW. I am getting at least gold crates, so Bane he's going to get fairly shortly. I will be unlocking Bane. Oh, I should have read, but I don't read often. I can get red crate these past go-arounds. I also enjoy Conquest, which I know is uncommon and awful, but okay. Likewise, I am more competitive focused, so I would say I'm more into efficiency and never have for fun farms. All right, so this is actually somebody that I like because they kind of are very similar to me. Let's see what we got. Let's see. First thing we want to do is we want to look at their collection, just kind of get an idea, see what's going on. Versio. We only got 2 GLs, but Sith Eternal Empire, but I feel like they told me they weren't doing good on the assault battles, so I want to double check that. Alright, CT3, they say 2 or 3 out of 7. Alright, that's interesting. We have 2, we have 3. We have 3. Okay. So, for the assault battles, because you have C, you have Admiral Piet at R8, you have General Veers at R5, General Stark at Colonel Stark, sorry for fucking up his rank, at R5. I would recommend, depending on what you're doing at CT3, get Range Trooper, get him up to 7 stars, 100%. Super easy, slow farm. It'll take you about a month and a half to 2 months. Get him to G12, it'll take you 0 Chirotech. Snow Trooper, I do the same thing. Get him to G12. No Chirotech needed. If you're not already doing Rebel Roundup and Forest Moon at CT3, that should get you there. If Snow Trooper's not helping you in Rebel Roundup, Moff Gideon, I did mine at G10. It took like 50 retries, but I was eventually able to do it. It really depends on how much you hate yourself. And I hate myself a pretty decent amount, but not terribly, right? So I did it. I don't know if I would have gone further than that. If you're not doing those ones there, perfect. So you're here. I'm glad. I can answer questions. That's awesome. I would highly recommend doing that because in terms of the ROI on those events, because you're only doing 5 characters and you already have 3 of them anyway, you should be getting a pretty quick return on your investment since there's 2 events that are involved there. Right now, what I want to do here is kind of look at these GLs and see. Jabba is a pretty good early GL. And we already have C. C is one of my favorites. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, actually, I did not look at her. I hate myself just a little bit, and it depends on what day. So 7 million. That's not bad. Let's see what we got here. So Kylo, we're fairly close, obviously. We're slow farming the command shuttle. I kind of tell people that are that bought the Lightspeed bundles to slow farm things, and the reason why I tell them to slow farm things is they're going to end up with so much of a Zeta deficit that it becomes really, really, really tough to kind of catch up. So it's not really necessarily a priority to get those things done as quickly as possible when you are dealing with not being able to Zeta your characters the way that you want to. So we're already slow farming command shuttle. We're good. We'll get to Kylo Ren when we get to him. Jedi Knight Luke. Let's see where we are. Whew. Skywalker. Okay. All right. Okay. We got nothing. So we already have him, obviously. I love Lord Vader for Conquest. I know Arnold hates him, but I really think he's so much better than people give him credit for. We have the Executor. Profundity is fairly close. Okay, and I want to check out. I just kind of want to see what we have for our ships. Right. I don't know why I'm looking up Malgus and ships. Let's see. Malgus. We don't have Malgus yet. Mr. Big Simp, where are we at with Malgus? I think you said it to me on Discord. Malgus. Nope, you didn't send it to me on Discord. That's okay. I'm going to look at other things. If you're listening to this, then you can kind of tell me in a minute. I want to see where our other Sith ships are. Alright, we haven't really even started farming these guys. Jeez. Dagger. 85 of 33 on Dagger. Or on Malgus. Awesome. See, isn't this great that we're able to do this? I'm assuming you're doing the Proving Grounds because C should be able to do the Malgus one. Okay, so we are pretty far from being able to do Leviathan, and yeah, so we're pretty far on Leviathan. The tough thing with Leviathan is that because it's the current ship meta, and we're going to kind of be slipping into the next ship meta fairly soon in the next 5 or 6 months. It's not that it's not an option for you, but it is going to be a little bit tougher for you to be able to do that in a relatively quick timeline. It's great that you're able to do Executor and get close on your fleet chart, and that your fleet chart is not super hyper competitive. But the reality is that once that next fleet meta shifts, we're looking at Executor being 3 years out. And when Executor is 3 years out, will it still be able to do what it needs to do? I literally have no idea. I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. So you kind of want to leverage your bet a little bit here and kind of keep that in mind with getting more ships and getting a little bit further. One thing that I did not look at that I probably should is just to get an idea in terms of PvP. We are in Iridium 2, so we're getting close to Kyber, and we are going to want some new ships. All right, so let's check this out. We have Hermit. We do not have Hermit. Interesting. I'm sure you sent me a message here. Hoda's at 113 at 330. Okay. And Wampa. All right. So, believe it or not, I used a negotiator. Okay, I know what you're doing. Got it. Believe it or not, I actually am not going to tell you to go for Jabba, which is not a bad usage. So if you were not to message me and you were to go for Jabba, it's not a bad thing. You wouldn't be screwing yourself over. You can definitely go for Jabba. Jabba is awesome. When we talk about Rebel Roundup, when we talk about Rise of the Empire, when we talk about, just being an all-around great GL for Conquest, he is solid. And the ROI on Smuggler's Run too. But what I am going to tell you to do is that right now you need to be going for Jedi Master Luke, which means that you need to start putting up let's just see this real quick. You need to start putting up shards for Hoda. And the reason that why we need to go for Jedi Master Luke right now is, one, you're a 7 million account and don't have Jedi Master Luke, and he is a godsend in Conquest, right? And every Conquest, they kind of like screw with us in different ways, and he just makes things so much easier. And you're probably going to end up finding that in terms of crystals, you're able to finish quicker and do more datacrons if you have him. It's going to give you the CT3 in it's going to be the CT3 in Ground War, and then based off of this, you're probably going to get the CT3, just if I'm reading this correctly, in Military Might as well, just from having most of a CLS team. The other reason I want you to go for Jedi Master Luke is it's going to feed you directly into Profundity, because Leviathan is not really necessarily a great option for you right now. And if you want to protect your fleet shard and you want to protect your fleet crystals, you're going to 100% hands down need to have something else. Especially being in Iridium 2 and starting to think about getting into Kyber, you're going to need some better GL ships in order to do well there. Even if you don't take it past 4 stars, I hate that event. I really, really do. When I did the Profundity event, I bought the packs first just to get the 5 stars because it's a pain in the ass. But even if you don't bring it up star-wise, at the very least, you'll start kind of building shards towards it, right? So Jedi Master Luke with Hermit Yoda, and Profundity. Now, because you don't have Hermit Yoda yet and you're still roughly 200 shards away, you're going to kind of be working on Jedi Master Luke as well as Profundity at the same time, right? Prioritize Jedi Master Luke, so build the things you need there, but when you feel like you're stuck because you're waiting on like Hermit or something else, start putting that gear towards Profundity as well, right? You don't need to save up. Both are good farms to have. I would say right now that after you do that, Jabba is the way to go, right? So I'd say Jedi Master Luke, Profundity, Jabba. While you're doing all of that, that's when you're really going to want to start to build up your Leviathan shards, which is Malgus, which you're kind of working towards, and C should be able to get you Malgus shards. And then next month, after next month, we should be able to start seeing... we should start seeing the next ship, Malgus' ship, and see whether or not that's going to be able to get you shards as well, right? So that's going to be an option for you as well. But right now, Jedi Master Luke, Profundity, Jabba afterwards as a maybe. And I say this to kind of pretty much everybody, but the basic thing that we want to understand is that the fleet meta is going to shift, and the fleet meta is going to change in the next like 6 to 7 months. And you want to be on top of that, which is probably not going to happen if it's anything like the Leviathan ship. But you also want to set yourself up where you have more options to be able to fight yourself past that if you're not able to get it, whatever that ship is. I personally see probably, Trench is probably the most likely example. But at the same time, we did just have a dark side ship, right? So it's possible that we get something on the light side for that meta shift. And some people in the community are starting to think maybe it won't be a capital ship. Maybe it'll be something like Red 5, because Meathead's been trolling us with Red 5 for God knows how long at this point. But I don't like to speculate. I like to just go off of hard facts, which means that in 5-6 months, you're going to want to reevaluate from there. Okay, so you're kind of right. Not necessarily that Jabba is going to come right now, but at the very least, Jabba is going to be in your near future as a solid event to be going towards. 151 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this next one, and this is an interesting one. This is somebody that I've spoken to a few times. They were actually on with me Friday night. They have the GAC insights, and they were helping me with my GAC run. And I'm a little bit intimidated to kind of look at this profile for this guy because he seems to run a pretty lean account, and I do not run a lean account at all. So how much I can help him, I have no idea. At the very least, maybe I'll make him laugh. Who knows? Fleet Shard. I'm in a Discord server, obviously 9.6 million account. So we can coordinate. I'm a top player in my shard and get first place every time, barring occasional real life distractions, which is, that's life. CT1, 7-7, CT2, 6-7, CT3, 6-7. So only missing CT2 and 3 for the Night Sisters Phoenix AB. Current goals, I'm approaching being an endgame player, as the only GLs I do not have are Jabba and Leia, which is crazy. I have all the meta ships. I recently finished my Ufu team and my Jedi Knight Cal Kestis ready for the next time he comes around. I'm currently saving materials for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and or Bane once they come around. I will have Bane day 1. After them, I will be working on Jabba. Currently 5-16 with all the character shards farmed. Biggest area my roster is lacking is not having Jabba and getting the mod materials associated with Smuggler's Run 2. My projects may shift depending on content released. My general game philosophy is I find enjoyment through competitiveness, so naturally GAC and TW are my favorite game modes, though I do enjoy nearly every aspect of the game, which is crazy to me, but whatever, to each their own. I very much enjoy engaging with like-minded people in this game, and I'm here to just see if you can identify any particular holes in my roster, or if you have any general advice. So I think what it comes down to is it's not necessarily that I'm not going to be able to help this person, but a lot of the help that I'm going to be able to provide for this person is not necessarily going to be on stream. But let's just kind of take a look at what we have here, right? Cursed Tan is there. Bosch. I would definitely be doing Bosch first because you can kind of pivot between Bosch or Leia or Jabba if you choose to do so. And Skiff. Let's see. Marin. Saw. I don't remember if he said that he definitely Tarful is there. Bless you. I just blessed myself. What a dumbass. Okay. And Seer. I'm assuming he's got Wampa. I'm assuming he has Traya. Savage. Just see Captain Rex is there. Where's our Drogon? Scout. Man, I'm a fast typer this morning. Nessa. Alright, let's just take a quick overview then. Yeah, only one Omicron on Third Sister, which is what I do too. I've only got the one. I actually only have the one on Starkiller and Afra as well. Let's take a look. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. Alright, let's just take a quick thing here. He is a Kyber 2 player like me, probably roughly. Let's see. What is my skill ranking? So he's 34-61. I'm actually coming off of a losing streak, though I did win last match. Nope, that's Guild. Oh, we might face each other in the next match. I'm 34-66. Who knows? That would be funny. 9 million. Okay. Let's see what we got. So again, we're at a player where we kind of like pick what we're doing. Jabba is a high priority. I think I had mentioned this to him on Discord a few days ago. But you definitely want to go for Jabba for that Smuggler's Run too, especially because you're a competitive GAC player. It makes no sense to not be there. In terms of new things coming out, I really cannot fathom anything new coming out that's going to be more important than getting Smuggler's Run 2. Geo Leia, not as important. She is super strong. Her Datacon just expired, so she's not as strong as she was. But her event, Ender Escalation 3, kind of sucks, right? Like, it's great if you built her for other things, because you're basically just getting free materials at that point. But in the end, you're not necessarily getting the same amount of things as you're going to get with Smuggler's Run 2. So that is high priority. At this point in the game, I would honestly start really seriously consider building your Night Sisters, Mother Talzin especially, right? Zombie especially. I have a full R8 Night Sisters team because of my, I just kind of built them for Marin, and then I went further. And I do have a YouTube series where I just kind of find the Rise of the Empire teams that can auto every node. So I can auto about 95% of the nodes up to the day 4 planets. And Night Sisters and Rise of the Empire are amazing. They can auto things in day 1, they can auto things in day 2, they can auto in day 3. They can even auto on Haven in day 4 as long as you have the platoons. With R8, I'm even autoing, I think I'm 4 for 4 at this point at autoing the Marin CM on day 3 Dathomir. But the other thing it's going to do is it's going to give you the CT3 that you kind of want for this event at this part of the game. And it's probably not going to require as much investment as you really think it is. I've seen players with as low as like CT3 on their Night Sisters, or not CT3, R3 on their Night Sisters, being able to CT3 the event ever since Marin came out. It'll probably require a little bit more finesse and a little bit more time than it took me. But with where you are in the game, it's probably worth it, right? Earlier accounts, I don't look at this assault battle. I don't necessarily think it's important. But where you are in the game, I do think it's important. The other thing that I like about the Night Sisters team is that when it comes to GAC, as a turtle, they're really great at two-shotting Jabba. And I know that some people are like, oh, well, two-shotting Jabba, why do I want a two-shot Jabba when I can one-shot Jabba? Depending on the defense that you're putting out, it might not be an option to one-shot Jabba. So it just gives me, especially an option that has no GL, to be able to kind of get through that team and push through. And it does, for me at least, throw a lot of my opponents off guard when they think, oh, I'm going to win because he's got everything on defense and I have GLs on defense as well, and that I'm able to do that. There are a bunch of other teams that you can kill with them, but that's just what I choose to use them for. So between Rise of the Empire, between the Assault Battle, I don't want to say that they're necessarily a priority team, but I do want to say that they are a very useful team. And it is a team that I would really strongly consider after you have finished Jabba. Right? Now, Jabba, you have Rex already. So Rex is done. He's good to go. He's ready to go. Let's just double check these other guys. Still our G1. Scout Trapper G1 and Nessa's G1. Let's just see. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, okay. So I think that this is a situation where, I kind of said this to you in Discord. There's not... People at like the 9, 10, 11 million GP, they sometimes will message me and they'll be like, hey, like, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I get better? I definitely think that for you, there's not much that I can do other than say that you're on the right path, right? Jabba's going to help you in the game modes that you want. It's going to give you the ROI that you want. Night Sisters would be my only real necessary suggestion because it's going to continue to build your ROI. And as a long-term player, building towards that was never necessarily a priority just because the Night Sister team didn't have any utility outside of doing the assault battle, but now they do. Now it is an amazing team, and I find them very useful for so many different aspects of the game that I do think it is something that you should be working for. Do I think that you should work on it instead of Leia? No, Leia is definitely more important than Night Sisters, but I do think with where you are with Leia versus where you are with Night Sisters, you can be working on them pretty much at the same time without too many issues. All right, so we're going to go from there. I do have another one that I want to kind of get to at least. Let's see. I have not seen this account yet, so we'll... Taldalas. Can't seem to find this guy. Ooh, I gotta log in again. Why? Why do I have to log in again? I have to verify. Come on, Discord. Never had to verify before. You're slowing my roll. Yes, I'm human. This is that fun part where I have to like wait for Discord to do its thing. There we go. Can't seem to find this guy who I'm supposed to be helping, so give me a second as I look through. Oh, he's on Reddit, that's why. Okay, so you guys are gonna get to see my Reddit account. Gonna let that load. There we go. Let's get a little bit distracted and see what this notification is. And let's see what this guy needs. Oh, there it is. Hey, looking to get a roster review. Help finding a direction to go into. Assault battle CT1 to a 7. Currently, I'm just beefing up my Sith Empire for the levy requirements, but I'm unsure if that's the most efficient route for myself. Or if I should focus on roster diversity first. I recall reading that if a jail ship guarantees me first place in fleet, I should focus, which levy absolutely would for me, but the ships give me the biggest amount of pause. My fleet shard is, let's see, my fleet shard is entirely LSBs, home ones, a handful of Raddus, but mostly Camaro with LSB ships. My main goal is to get my farms done as efficiently as possible in the best way overall for my count. I hope I had all the requested bullet points. If there's anything that I've missed, let me know. No worries, I appreciate it regardless. What day was this? February 1st? Okay, so I'm not too bad on this one. Let's see what we got here. So we've got just Supreme Leader Color Run Malgus. I was gonna say that this person probably shouldn't be going for Leviathan based on what he said, but I mean, if we have Malgus, where is our Fury class? Do we have Fury class? Just gonna pull up my notes. And just so I can see where we are on this. TIE Advance is done. Houndstooth is done. Slave 1 is done. Ig 2000 is not done, but almost done. TIE Fighter is done. No, that's the other one. Is done. TIE Bomber. We don't have Bomber yet. Oh, wait. No, we don't. And Razor. Okay, well that is very interesting. Let's see what else we got going forward with this guy. Check out our GL gear needed. We have Kylo Ren. We're close to Rey because of the Lightspeed bundle. I'll have to remember that and check. Master Luke. Lord Vader. Starkiller. Probably bought that bundle. Inquisitor. Jabba. Executor. And Profundity is Let's see what Leviathan is. Okay, that's where we are with everything. Why do I get the feeling that so many people are watching me right now? Oh, God. I just want to check out Imp Troopers. Oh, God, that sucks. Oh, that's fucking awful. Oof. Damn. Let's see. What did we say for CT1s? 2 of 7. Okay. Oh. Fuck my life. This is gonna be fun. This is a mess. Let's see. Alright, let's see. Rebels. What the oh my god. I don't have enough vodka for this. Have Han Solo. We don't have Chupio. Let's see where. Wait, do we have Chewbacca? We have Chewbacca. Oh, fuck. Ewoks. I said vodka. Take a drink when Egnards is frustrated. Let's see. Oh my gosh. This is killing me. I hate this so much. Alright. Let's see what else we got. We're obviously doing the SLKR one. This is probably where we're doing the other CT one, is with bounty hunters. I can't imagine otherwise. Okay. If this is, I would be completely crazed. Yeah, that's what I figured, but that's fine. That one's not that big of a deal. This is not that big of a deal. I feel like I'm out. Jedi. Let's check out these Jedi. We got Revan, Katarn, Bastille. What? Yeah, well, Egnards keeps going until his wife wakes up. And she might be awake. I don't know. She might be just laying in bed looking at like Instagram or her Quinn followers or something. But once I start hearing her, that's when we're going to wrap up. I am more fun than church. 100%. Definitely. Okay. Now, the thing is, the problem with this account to me is the fleet Discord doesn't seem to be problematic in terms of executor or profundity. And this person has really hard pivoted themselves to Leviathan. But considering the things they have, they are clearly a spender, and it seems like they're not unwilling to spend further. So it doesn't necessarily make it a problem. But since we have really pushed ourselves into... what is my account? You are welcome to add my account as an ally. I don't know if I have slots left. It is, if you want it, it is 399836874. You can always go back and see that. The problem is that we've hard pivoted in our fleet shard. Are we communicating with our fleet shard? Oh, they're on Reddit, right? Bishop over there. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to communicate with your fleet shard. Yes, 100% solo. You know me. We talk pretty much every day. That's just how I work. It's very methodical. But 100% you need to talk to your fleet Discord more than anything else. You have to. You need to organize with them. If there isn't already Discord, you need to set it up. Some people really hate doing it, but the reality is CJ wants you guys fighting with each other, right? Because then you spend resources to get resources, and you don't necessarily think about whether getting those extra resources actually benefited you or not, which is a total problem. I do have a video on YouTube that involves setting up and communicating with your fleet Discord. It is fairly simple, but it's not necessarily straightforward because the game doesn't obviously want you to do that natively. It's about 4 minutes long. It's super quick. It's super easy to watch. Coordinate with them. Find out where you need to be. The one problem is that because you've hard pivoted to Leviathan and you have Malgus already and you're kind of already building that up, I don't want to say, hey, just go for Executor right now because you've already put so many resources into it. Malgus' ship after the next Conquest should be in Crystals, should be in Proving Grounds. I'd even look at your GP to see where you're at, if you can even do Proving Grounds. So if Leviathan is like, oh good, you can do it. If Leviathan is the thing that you're willing to spend towards, well, then it's not that big of, it's not that big of a deal to do it. So I'm gonna kind of go off of the basis here that your goal is 100% Leviathan because you've already put so many resources into it, even though it's not necessarily the path that I would have taken if we rewound Life is Strange style and we kind of went back like 3 or 4 months, right? Then I would have said like, hey, let's do something different, but we're already there. In the name of the Father, in the name of the farm, the refresh, and the holy ROI, as it were in the beginning, is now. May your drop rates be forever great. Amen. Right? I'm going to hell. So keeping in mind that it seems like we do have a hard pivot towards Leviathan, and I have to not negate that necessarily, right? I don't want to like destroy this person in terms of like what they're doing. Stay on that route. You've already clearly invested resources in that. Let's just take a look at the ships for Ray real quick. Do we have the Radius yet? We do. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I would go for Leviathan only because that seems to be where you've already put so much energy into, and I don't necessarily want to negate it. Again, not what I would have done going from the start. I would slow farm Ray and the Radius. You're going to be in a Zeta. You're going to be in a Zeta deficit for a while, so it doesn't make sense to speed up the Ray farm, but go towards that because you're already so close to it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense not to. I would say that after that, you really want... Let's just pull this up so I'm not an idiot, just to make sure that I have my information right as I get a little bit hazy. After you get Ray, and while you're still kind of sending your crystals towards Leviathan, I would start pivoting towards C. And the reason I'd start pivoting towards C is it's going to give you a CT3 without having to deal with the cheese on places of power. It's also going to give you a CT3 or very close to a CT3 on both Rebel, Roundup, and Forest Moon. But also as a 4 million account, it is going to really jumpstart your Proving Grounds. Now here's the thing. SLKR can actually do all of the Proving Grounds tiers currently available. A lot of people don't know that. I've seen video evidence of all of them. Some of them are a little bit more difficult and they require other characters, but you can do them, but they're going to be a pain in the ass. C is going to make that a little bit easier for you to be able to do. And I think at where you are GP wise, it just makes sense to be aware of that, and it makes sense to be ready for that. After you do that, I just want to kind of check on one. Oh, I hit the wrong freaking button. Let's take a look. Ooh, that sucks. Okay, alright. So after you do that, I would be working towards Jedi Master Luke, right? But that means that you're going to need to start devoting Get towards Wampa and Hermit Yoda pretty much yesterday. The reality is he is amazing at Conquest. He is the best Conquest unit. He really helps make Conquest super, super easy for everybody. But also it's going to give you a CT3 in Ground War. It's also going to give you a CT3 or close to CT3 in Military Might. CT3. Give you a CT3 in Military Might. Again, he's super great at cheesing Conquest. And where you are in the game, it's no GL is a bad GL, right? That's kind of the mantra. Some people, their mantra is once you start a farm, finish a farm. I don't necessarily agree with that in some cases, but I do agree with the mantra, no GL is a bad GL. Go for JML right afterwards. You're looking at a pretty decent timeline on being able to do all of that. So I wouldn't try to plan further than that, because then you're thinking about the next meta shift, you're thinking about the next ship shift, you're thinking about the next raid shift, and you might at that point decide, hey, I want a hard pivot towards whatever the next GL is for the raid, or hey, I want to pivot to the next ship, which you probably don't need to do based on what your fleet shard looks like currently. The important thing is always to consider, is what I'm doing going to put me further in the future, right? Like, is what I'm doing going to give me a return on investment? I would say after Jedi Master Luke, after Jedi Master Luke, Jabba's probably the next best thing, but I don't want to look that far into the future. In relation to the SLKR on Malgus PG, I honestly have no idea. I've never had to do a PG. I've only ever done them when CG has screwed up and they've allowed us access to them even though we already have the shards. All I know is that it definitely is possible just because I've seen it done before. That doesn't mean it's necessarily easy, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to hate yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that CG isn't going to hell for it, because they probably are. But what it does mean is that if you really put your mind to it, you can be the little engine that could, or the brave little toaster. Shout out to those of you that are a little bit, older and kind of know those references. Let's see. I've got one more to do that I really, really, really don't want to do because my voice is tired. So what we're going to do, as I start to hear my wife waking up upstairs, is I am going to pop on my game again. And, oh, we don't want this. That's gross. Ew. Brave Little Toaster is kick-ass, man. Kick-ass. We could talk about that all day. The Brave Little Toaster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up my Conquest as we start to wind down over the last 10, 15 minutes or so. If anyone has any questions for me, if anyone has any comments that I'm going to hate, but you really want me to drink a little bit more, this is the time to piss me off. What I will say is I really do wish that I could have my co-star Bones in here right now, who is a funny motherfucker. He's got a podcast with a few of his friends, Three Scoundrels in a Cantina. I probably said that wrong because I'm a little bit toasty right now. But I've talked with them a few times, and when talking with some of the guys that are on top of it, I was told I'd hate Bones and I'd love this other guy, and it's not the opposite because I like both of them, but I've definitely found that I really like Bones because he's funny. So hopefully after I finish my Conquest battles, he'll show me how to get this guest star shit going on, and we'll be able to have him join me, next week or something. But if you haven't heard their podcast, a lot of the times when people reach out to me on Discord, they kind of say that they like my conversational tone when I do the Tales series, right? And the tone of their podcast is very, very similar. And so everyone that kind of messages me and they say, man, you only have like 7 or 8 episodes right now and I'm out of them and I'm waiting for more, I kind of have been telling them, oh, go check out these guys, like, just because it's the same kind of shit and it's a little bit longer than what I'm looking to do, but it's just fun to do. When you are so in terms of the relic levels, it really depends on where you are in the game. Pre-Rise of the Empire, I would not bring anyone past R5 unless they were a Galactic Legend or like a key character. So like Jedi Knight Luke was a key character, Malgus was a key character, Malik was a key character, but everything else could stay at R5. Right now with Rise of the Empire, you have to bring characters further if you want to do like the day 3 or the day 4 planets. So it's really about who you want to bring forward, right? I'm at a point in the game where I can more liberally use my resources without it worrying me. So I'm looking at doing not necessarily fun projects, but projects that maybe aren't, they're not for everybody. And for me, Phoenix is not just about the raid, because I give 0 shits about the raid, but it is about being able to do more in Rise of the Empire while putting it on auto. And those of you that hate doing things, I've got my YouTube series, look up Egnards on YouTube, where I try to find auto teams for every single planet, because I don't like investing the time. Now, because Phoenix has a day 4 CM, I think it's a CM, I've decided, hey, since I've already brought them to R5, I'm going to bring them to R8. It's going to help me auto in the raid, but it's also going to help me in Rise of the Empire. And they are pretty good in PvP once we've gotten Captain Rex. To answer the question about roster reviews, I don't have a necessary crazy system in place right now, but what I do is people message me on Discord. My name on Discord is literally the same. It's Egnards, Egnards. There's no capitals. And just hit me up, say, hey, how you doing? I'd like a roster review. And what I generally do is I'll send you my Reddit thread, and my Reddit thread will have exactly the information that I want from you or that I need from you. I probably should have looked at how high my stamina was for these guys. I might lose. That sucks. Whatever. And once you send me that information, I'll try to get it done for you. Usually, that's an awful... All right, I guess they're at too low a stamina. Usually I try to get it done within like 48 hours, but because I've been doing these like weekly streams, I've been also trying to sometimes wait just until the weekend, so I can do a bunch of them and hang out with everybody, and go from there. So I have a lot of people. I try to get them done as soon as I possibly can. As I'm finishing up, and I really gotta piss, but as I'm finishing my Conquest energy, just as a reminder for anyone that is in the North Jersey, New York, or somewhere close area, February 24th, when I get off of work, I'll be heading into New York City. I'll be heading to my favorite bar, Beer Culture, on, I think it's 49th Street. I'm not 100% sure, but it's right next to Moulin Rouge, the show. I put it on Reddit. I kind of told people, like, hey, it'd be cool to meet up and just have a beer. If anybody is in that area, I'm going to be heading there. I'm going to having a beer. If you're there, great. If you're not there, that's fine too, because I know people in the area, and I'll hang out with them as well. But I grew up in the age of massive multiplayer games, and when I was younger, a lot of the older players, they would meet up and they'd fly out and they'd do like weekend things. So I grew up in an age where it wasn't weird to meet people on the internet and hang out. So if you are around, come check it out. Come say hi. Come come have a beer with me. Maybe if you're cool, I'll buy you a beer. You know, and we'll go from there. Yeah, Logan, I know where Logan lives. So Logan lives about 15 minutes from my older brother, which is really funny. But it's about a couple-hour drive from New York City. So I've been going back and forth on if I should message him or not, just because it would be a pretty long drive for him. But the next time that I go upstate to visit my nieces, I am probably going to message him and be like, hey man, I'm in the area, let's go get a beer and let's film some, let's do like a podcast live at a bar somewhere. So with that said, it looks like I finished my Conquest. I've done pretty much all of my roster reviews that I need to get done. I think I have one more. I'll do that later in the day. I hope you guys, I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm going to try to do this, I want to say every Sunday, but not necessarily every Sunday because sometimes I have things to do. I'm going to try to do it like 8:30. I posted on Reddit. My Reddit name is Egnards. I posted on YouTube. My YouTube name is Egnar, but if you look up Egnards, you'll find it too. I posted I'm going to do it, that I will be available. I enjoy chatting with you guys. That's the whole purpose. And I'm looking forward to later in the day filming a Tales episode with one of the Redditors where we're going to do like Hot One style. So we're doing like hot wings and like ghost peppers and crazy stuff. And he, I guess, has some talking points for me, and we're just going to do something crazy. And then before I sign off, Bones, I got to pee, but you know, I want to talk and I want to figure out this thing because I'd love to do something with you. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much. Peace out. Buy me a beer, whatever else. Have a great Sunday. I don't know who's going to win the Pro Bowl. I don't give a shit who's going to win the Pro Bowl. My Broncos lost already.